Okay, now hang on tight because I got a little drop here.
We're gonna lower the canoe and all the gear with a rope down this steep embankment.
Whoa!
This is the worst desert I've seen so far. There's absolutely nothing up here.
Bad spot, man. It's a desert.
Well, looks like the Colorado isn't as deep as we thought.
It's really hot. We're in the desert. We gotta find someone. We gotta find a town. We gotta find a pub. We gotta find somewhere to cool off, get inside. My name is Bryans, and this is my best buddy. And his name is Brian too.
Out of all the water in the world, only 1% is fresh water. And we're gonna explore all of it.
This time we're canoeing the Colorado River, all the way from Colorado down to the border of Mexico.
And we're gonna use the same old canoe.
Think we're crazy? You're right. We're the Paddling Bryans. We're at the Parker Dam. It's another portage, and I just hate portaging.
It's way too hot for portaging. It's just killing us.
Yo, bro, I'm getting sick of this, man. We can't go any further.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting pretty fed up.
I've had to wear the canoe as a hat so many times because of these damn portages over these damn dams.
Brian, it's way too hot and windy to be doing this right now.
I know. We should have been portaging at night. That would have been a smarter plan. Oh, I don't know about walking all the way to that boat launch, dude.
No, the boat launch is like, holy shit.
It's like another 2 miles or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's at least 2 miles. We can't do that. This wind, man, is blowing the canoe every which way.
Yeah.
I've almost stopped sweating because I think I'm dehydrated. We gotta get down to the water.
Yeah. Oh, watch up ahead. You got like a little channel in front of you there.
Packing all this gear in the heat is killing us. Now I think I have an idea.
I want to get the boat in the water. I want to get in the water sooner than later.
Yeah.
You good? You got it?
I got it.
Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this, bro.
We're gonna lower the canoe and all the gear with a rope down this steep embankment. Then we'll hop in and sail away. Easy.
Do I stay up at the top lowering with the rope? Or do you stay up lowering with the rope? Because one of us has to guide the canoe down.
Yeah.
So Rochambeau for who rides the canoe? It's gotta be.
All right.
What does that mean? I lose. Nice, I get to go down with the canoe.
Go down.
Are you gonna be able to hang on to that?
I hope so. Don't worry.
Brian wants to cut the portage short. I mean, I can understand him. It's way too hot to be walking with all this gear. But he wants to lower the canoe down this rock face. I honestly don't think that it's gonna be worth all the trouble, but you know, Brian has his heart set on this one.
Actually, just hold that rope, dude. Okay, now hang on tight because I got a little drop here.
Yeah.
Whoa! We're good. Hang on to it. Hang on to it. It gets really steep down here. Inch it down, Bry. Okay, a little more.
I went to the front end of the canoe. I mean, it was a little bumpy, a couple rocks slipped, a couple anchor breaker situations.
Okay, hang on. Let it go 1 foot. Give me 1 foot of slack. Whoa.
And we both managed to get the canoe all the way to the bottom.
Okay, we're there.
As we finished lowering all the gear down, all that was left was for me to go down with the last bag in the barrel.
Tie it off to like a boulder and then come down with the rope.
I was kind of in a rush and fed up of portaging, so I kind of tied a really stupid knot to the rock.
This is gonna be walking, buddy.
From the top, it really didn't look that steep. I thought, oh, you know what, I'm not even really gonna use the rope that much. As I got about halfway down, I realized that it was really steep, and then I started to get worried. Did I tie a good knot? No. I know I didn't tie a good knot.
Look, stop right there. Stop right there. Twist the rope around in your hand. Because if you have to really hang on, that's how you hang on.
I was pretty worried. I really wasn't sure that that knot was gonna hold. But sure enough, it did. We made it down to the bottom and got all the gear packed up and headed off on our way.
Throw those in the boat as soon as you can. The boat's good. That's good.
We get into the boat, the current's good. We get out into the middle of the river, and sure enough, I see the marina, the boat launch, is a couple hundred yards from where we lowered the gear. We should have scoped the portage out first. We should have done a walkthrough.
Oh, sweet. The marina is right there. That was so dumb. What a waste of time. We should have walked it.
I'll have to admit, not all my ideas are that great. We're about 30 or 40 miles from Blight. That's our next check stop. That's where we have to get to. We're getting really hot. We need to find a place to pull off and rest for a little bit.
And we pulled the canoe up and we were in the middle of the desert. Right now we're on the California side of the Colorado River. Right behind me is that's Parker, Arizona. We had to portage this bridge because it's under construction and we can't get through it. So we had to make a portage around. Now we're on the California side, putting the boat back in the water, and we're heading down to Blythe. Hopefully in this 120-degree heat we won't melt, but at least we have water to jump in.
We're about 30 or 40 miles from Blight. That's our next check stop. That's where we have to get to. But in this heat, it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so hard to track distance. I mean, basically, we're jumping out of the boat all the time. We can't stay in the boat in the heat. The gunnels, I mean, look at this. You can't put your hand on this for more than that. It's too hot out here. It's insane. We have to take shifts jumping in the water, floating beside the boat. It's hot. It's really hot. It's nice to have a little bit of a breeze to cool down. Well, as much as the hot breeze cools you down. But with this headwind, it's gonna take us, I'm guessing 2, 3, maybe 4 days. It doesn't go quick. The river flows, but with headwind, the canoe's a sail. It takes a long time, so I'm putting my money on red and 3 days. As you can see, we've downsized a whole bunch. I'm sure people are going to notice that because we have way less gear than we started with, but it's too hot to really need anything. So We don't use a tent, we don't use sleeping bags, we don't use air mattresses, we sleep on the sand. We really don't need much gear, just the essentials. These black gunnels on the canoe are so hot from the sun that I have to splash them down. We gotta get water on them to keep them cool, because when you're paddling, your arm rubs up against it sometimes and it burns your arm. It's ridiculously hot out here. So what I'm doing right now is trying to cool it a little bit with hot water. So that doesn't really work either. But even the shafts on our paddles are really hot, so we have to dip these in the water too. I don't know why we're paddling to Mexico. Let's go north, Adams.
Even us get really hot, so maybe we should take a little dip in the water.
Yeah, good thing. We're heading towards Blythe, California, and it's supposed to be all farmland, which is really different than anything we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's true. It's so weird to see so much green.
It's acres and acres of green vegetation, farmland.
We're on our way to Blythe, and as usual, it's just hot as hell. I mean, I don't know how people live down here. I, for one, would not choose to live in this area.
We're getting really hot. We need to find a place to pull off and rest for a little bit.
The real big problem with this stretch of river is that all along the shores, it's just filled with reeds and weeds and all kinds of vegetation, and it's just, there's nowhere to camp along the sides of this river right now. We have no real choice but to pull the canoe up when we can see an opening. We'll try and take it and climb up to the ridge and see what we can see.
So you just make sure the boat doesn't pull away.
Float away with the boat.
Right, just watch out because rocks might fall down.
Yeah.
And the sand is extremely hot. Holy shit, buddy. Worst spot ever, man. It's a desert.
This time, unfortunately, we made a really bad decision and we pulled the canoe up and we were in the middle of the desert.
One last one, bud.
Sweet.
Nice. Oh my God, man. I see what you mean, dude. We're stupid.
What the hell are we doing out here? Really not a good move.
A little more, hold on.
We got the canoe.
We lost the paddle. Oh, it's right there. I got it, bro.
Yeah? You need the rope
I
to
got
get
it.
back?
Nope, I'll be all right. It's so hot out here, it looks like it burns the desert. We see burnt trees everywhere. I think it might spontaneously combust.
It's really too hot to camp out here, and not to mention that there's nowhere to camp. So we heard there was a town nearby, and we're just gonna try and find a watering hole or something, you know, get out of the sun for a little bit and refresh ourselves. Well, looks like the Colorado isn't as deep as we thought.
We gotta find a town, we gotta find a pub, we gotta find somewhere to cool off.
As soon as we walked in, we felt so energized. Then he pulls out a 500 Magnum.
Look at this thing.
Super cool.
It's as long as my arm.
Well, looks like the Colorado isn't as deep as we thought.
We knew there was a sandbar here. We're just here for fun. We're starting to find sandbars again on the Colorado, which is, it's kind of fun because you can spot them from a distance and you can avoid them if you want to. But it's also a good place to have lunch. So we decided to pull up and have lunch on a sandbar.
Oh yeah, every now and then it's good to stretch our legs and hang out a little bit.
Take a rest.
I want trail mix. The goopy bars of nonsense right now.
Oh, peanut butter.
But at least there's no bugs in the middle of the river. We're just down here, somewhere in this spot by the sandbars and stuff. I don't really see anything for a little bit, but we just find a place to pull over, anything that looks nice.
Lighthouse Rock. It's really hot. We're in the desert. We gotta find someone. We gotta find a town. We gotta find a pub. We gotta find somewhere to cool off, get inside.
We found this place called Charlie's Chuck Shop, and as soon as we walked in, we felt so energized. I mean, the people in there, they were so welcoming. We forgot about the heat and the desert and, you know, how many miles left that we had to go on this river. It was a really great place to be in. You know, those small time bars, they're the best place to go, the best place to stop, and that's where you meet the best people.
I've been here I've been there since 1969, and spent a lot of time on the river in my younger days, but yeah, there's some really cool stuff going on.
Got to meet Mary, who was one of the owners of the bar, and she was actually bartending at the time, and she was just such a sweetheart. She had such great advice for us.
The river is a wonderful place to go to, and we love it here. We love the desert. Like I say, I've been here since 1950, but you do see strange things, you know? And people that come here on a vacation, they don't realize how the river is. And if they've got kids, of course they're going to play in the sandbar, you know? They don't have any idea what that river will. But they've got that suction underneath there, and it just takes them down, and you never see them. My good friend, his son was 21, and him and his friends were having a party, and he dove into the river, and they never seen him again.
Some of her stories were pretty tragic, and I mean, it's good to hear them. It reminds you that, you know what, the river is kind of a dangerous thing, and we have to be on our toes out there.
I've seen a lot of people go down in that river, and I don't want, I don't want nobody that don't know the river. I want to explain it to them because it is bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad river, but it's beautiful too.
Mary gave us some advice about the river, about the eddies, the swirlies, and the shallow sandbars, and how it could suck people under. I mean, that's good advice for people that aren't often on the river, but I don't think she's seen what we've been through in the upper Colorado, because this section of river is nothing compared to that. I mean, thanks for the advice, Mary, but we'll be okay.
She had some really good stories for us, and she treated us like kings. She bought us a couple of rounds, and I mean, she wouldn't even accept our money. I mean, we had to hide a tip for her underneath the beer bottles as we left, because she didn't want to accept any of our money. Like, this is what small town America is all about, and that's what me and Brian love. You know, we do these trips to meet the people of the river.
Okay, guys, come on. Let's have a drink.
Sounds good, Mary.
Mary's son takes us out back, and he wants to show us some of his guns. And I mean, I've seen plenty of guns in my day, but nothing like this.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Real
Yeah,
good.
wait, stand together.
You want to hold this one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is a real gun.
That's insane.
Man. He whips out an AK-47 with a banana clip that holds 25 rounds,
Let me see. I want to see what it looks like when I am.
a sun scope so you can shoot in the middle of the day straight into the sun.
No, this one is not legal where we come from.
Then he pulls out a 500 Magnum. Look at this thing.
Super cool.
It's as long as my arm.
Super cool. That thing is insane.
That is wild.
That's
Look at
The largest handgun you can own, the largest handgun in production.
it's 3 times the power of a 357.
I bet that blows your finger off when you pull the trigger.
You know what? I shoot with one hand. Boom.
No problem.
No problem.
I don't know why this guy has this thing. It's like a hand cannon.
I've seen Colt 45s, and that's a big goddamn hand pistol. But this thing was like the size of, like a sawed-off shotgun. It's insane. I'd have to prop it.
I go pow, 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 pow.
That's heavy, man. One-handed. You're a nutto. He offered us to go to the shooting range, but we had to wait till he was off shift. He was busy for a couple hours. We had to track distance, so no shoot 'em up today.